The Octagon is not just in Las Vegas anymore. Nope, guys, it's also in your hands. With DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. Get ready, because remember, Rob faces off against John in a rematch at UFC 323. Every punch, every takedown, every finish, every attempt has the potential to pay off for you in real time. New customers can turn $5 into $200 if your bet wins, paid instantly in bonus bets. And hey, Missouri, the wait is over. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. Stay in on the action and use your bonus bets in DraftKings same-game parlays. This gives you a shot at an even bigger payout. Do you love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has you covered. Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. When you do, use the promo code SONNEN. That's code SONNEN to turn $5 in bets into $200 in bonus bets if your pick wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Suga Sean O'Malley's good friends, he's even business partners with Jake Paul. And Sean O'Malley is scared for Jake Paul. All right, great. You know what? Thank you, Sean. And now that's now my phrase. I'm going to steal that from you from this moment. I'm going to use it going forward because I didn't know how to describe my feeling about this fight, but I just got it. I'm glad I thought of it right after I read Sean O'Malley said it. Sean went on to say, there's certain punches, there's certain knockouts, there's certain concussions, there's certain ass whippings, there's certain beatings that are not equal to others. They're the kind of knockouts, of punches, of concussions, of ass whippings, and of beatings that change your life. They change lives. And O'Malley didn't elaborate on what that meant. But I know what he meant. I know what he meant. There is a confidence that a person has. From the guy that walks down the street, the most confident, he walks in the room and he's the man and he gets to live his life feeling that way and people will treat him that way. All the way down to the coward who walks his wife like he's weak, who handles everything sheepishly. The one thing those two guys have in common is that neither of them actually knows where they stand. Neither of them has actually tested that theory. They got all the rest of society to go along with it. Therefore, they don't have to test the theory. And it is a very rare, I don't know the numbers, but it's like, I used to know them, but it's like 0.003 of population will ever actually get in a fight. So if you're the guy that walks around, you got the broad shoulders, and you hold your head up high with your chest puffed out, and everybody treats you like a tough guy, you get to die. You get to go through your entire life and to the grave believing that you were a certain way. And the coward's got to do the same thing. Now the problem, and I think what Sean O'Malley's talking about, is for the guy that goes out and tests that and finds out just because I believed it and just because my back was straight and broad and my chest was puffed and my head was up did not mean I could beat these other guys. It turns out there's an actual skill that has nothing to do with a head up and a chest out and a broad back. There's an actual skill about the way I get him looking here before I go here, and then I slip under here before I come back, before I work my legs. And there's just an actual skill. Most guys get to go through school and life and the work life, the shops and the stores and everything with an opinion in their mind. How would I handle said situation? And when you find out, and guys, I'll just share personalized mine, but when I find out was in 1997, And it was an amateur event in Portland, Oregon. And I believe it was called the PSKA. I fought a guy from South America, South Africa, rather, who had come to the Northwest, Idaho specifically, to pursue education. Man named Trevor Prangley, who went on to be a world champion. And so he and I agreed to fight. I'm somewhere in the state, and I've got to drive hours to get there, and he's got to come in from Idaho, and we get there, and I will just tell you, I had this vision, no different than the guy that walks around the store. And I don't mean that I did it with an arrogance or an attitude, but I had a complete confidence. I knew what would happen if a situation like this arose. I had jiu-jitsu, I had Muay Thai, limited in both, but I had them, and I had wrestling to the, my bucket was full in that regard. I was on college scholarship to a Division I at the time. There's nothing that makes you closer to a professional wrestler than having a Division I scholarship. I remember that fight started. I'm circling. I'm throwing jabs specifically, and I'm circling. Because I saw Don Fry do it. I had seen Don Fry do it on video, and Don was a wrestler. And Don had some judo, and he had some boxing, and he had some kickboxing. I was Don Fry. I read Don's resume. I knew my own. I am just like Don Fry. So that fight starts, and I remember circling 3 punches just like Don Fry did. Everything. I circled the same way. I rotated. Here's the problem. They all missed by this much. So I threw three more punches, and here's the problem. They missed from varying degrees, but they all missed. I had no idea how difficult it was to hit a target while moving. I had only hit the heavy bag before. Not I'm moving and hitting the heavy bag. I just hit the heavy bag. Now this is before the heavy bag starts moving on me and then starts trying to hit me back. The point was, it's not what I thought it was. And I had lost before. I had lost in wrestling matches before. But losing this fight, I had my reality was now different. Something I knew to be true was no longer true. And Jake Paul, through fear of Suga Sean O'Malley, is going to have one of those experiences. One of those I didn't think a man could do this to me experiences. And you know what? I see it the same way. I respect the hell out of it. I am on Jake Paul's side. As one of the leading members and voices from Jake Paul's side, prior to this fight, we are going to put a board behind us and we're going to tell you what needs to be done for Jake to win. And I don't mean for Jake to get his hand raised. There's other things that Jake can do, and if he does them, Jake wins. Making the distance by example is a win for Jake. We're gonna break a few of these down. But if I was Anthony Joshua, I would not have taken this fight, and my number one rule is you get the biggest check with the easiest opponent. So I would be a hypocrite to my own rule. I would not go out under a skill set as brutal as left and right hands. Right? There's only 4 things you can do in boxing. You can jab him, you can cross him, you can hook him, and you can uppercut him. You can hit him about his waist, neck, and chest, or you can beat him amongst his head, eyes, nose, and ears. Pretty rough stuff. And I would not go into a contest where I could and was likely to destroy and concuss somebody. I want to do it. I got enough money. I want to do it. As a matter of fact, as time has gone by, I more and more think that I would have done it the way Francis did it. And I don't ever think I'd have done something the way Francis did it. When Sean O'Malley put this piece out and I got done reading it and I realized how right and true and how relatable my feelings were to Sean's feelings, what is Joshua doing taking this fight? It's always been different, right? Like when Floyd Mayweather took the fight against Jake's brother Logan, no one really knew. Logan was 185 pounds, and he was going to have to cut to get to that, and he stands about 6'2". Floyd is retired, much older, and nowhere near that size. But now we're giving the boxer everything. We're giving him the size, the height, the reach, the experience, the power, the speed, the strength. I mean, everything we're giving to him. Should he even be taking the fight? And moreover, now that he has, I'm with O'Malley. And all that thing, yes, I respect it for Jake. I am also scared for Jake.